and welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. If you follow us, you'll recognize the gentleman sitting next to me. It's Benjamin John. He has two first names, make it real easy for me. But do you mind if I call you Ben for this?
Yeah, I go by Ben, yeah.
So Ben has a very active Instagram channel, and now because we're YouTube partners, certified YouTube partners, he's now stepping up and going to start housing videos on YouTube, and we're here to talk about that. Hey, Ben.
Hey, how's it going? It's good to see you again,
Good.
brother.
Okay, so I had a 9 o'clock appointment, and I totally forgot about it. I apologize.
Hey, you're honest. That's what matters, right?
Because lying is not going to work.
Yeah,
Okay.
that goes a long way.
All right. So you did your other video for a company that you work with.
Yeah.
And now you have other things that you're doing on your own. And one of them now is you're going to start doing what you do on Instagram on YouTube.
Yes.
So let's talk about the videos that you do on Instagram. What are they about?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And yes, I've had my own business, my own construction business for 6 years in a different state. And then I've got what was and has been transforming now as a business coaching page or business consultation. But what I'm mainly talking about on Instagram these days is changing the face and the way the industry of entrepreneurialism is operated. And I'll go into a little more detail about that. But I'm basically kind of elaborating and encouraging people to pay attention to things that are being taught, the wrong things, in my opinion, damaging things, things of deception along those lines. And teaching people how to do it the right way, the proper way, and more importantly, start to care about people. So that's one thing. And then on the side note, people are starting to get to know me as a person in that and all the things I'm into. Been playing death metal music for 15 years. Been a vegan for over 8 years. There's a lot of layers to me, like there are many people.
Right.
And I'm encouraging people to kind of let themselves out so people can know you as a person and stop posting all these polished videos and trying to come off as someone you're not.
So you said something interesting about trying to learn from people who already know, and there are so many, and again, I'm not big into talking negative, so I don't want to talk about anybody, but when it comes to the coaching, there are so many coaches that have become coaches because they were realtors and the market had crashed. It became a diluted industry, and I post, and again, I'm not into really negative about anybody, but I post, before you hire a coach, okay, one, make sure that they're successful. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if they're not successful, then you're just spinning your wheels. Mm-hmm. The same thing with a business. Check the business. Make sure that they're on Sunbiz. Make sure that if it's a business that needs licensing, that they're licensed. Make sure that they're insured. Make sure that they have what makes them a true business. Yeah. I don't interview anybody by Skype or Zoom. If you're going to do business with us, you got to come through. Got to come in here. It tells people, and you're in here, who we are, what we're about, and that we're here to do business.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get what you're trying to get across, because so many people get taken by snake oil salespeople. Okay?
Yeah.
And you're trying to get people to be more aware.
Yeah, and there's a lot of layers to that, which is why I need to create more momentum on this YouTube channel, is because the way sales particularly is being taught is just wrong. There's a lot of manipulation, a lot of forcing yourself on people, a lot of really just pushing. Now, the reason I know a lot about this is because I've been in sales for a couple decades, and more recently I actually got out of a modern day cult. I ain't going to drop the name. You can follow my content and understand one of the people I'm talking about. Very successful guy, multi-billionaire. I've been a part of his company for 3.5 years. Only to find out that I was really brainwashed, and the entire community's brainwashed too. It's deception, and there's a lot of people that attach to these people and look for success in other people for a lot of reasons. They have their own fear, their own doubt, their own insecurities, and this is one of many reasons why people get sucked into this, because those guys prey on that fear,
right,
and teach them to put fear in others when they're selling. And so there's a lot to it that I expose, and I kind of peel back the layers on.
No, so for me, there's a bunch of direct marketing companies. We call them MLMs. Now, I will say this: there are MLMs that have amazing products, Mary Kay, Kangen water, but there are some there that are a little sneaky.
Yeah.
Okay, and the way they pull you in is even more sneaky by making you promises that are hard to achieve, not impossible, but harder to achieve.
Right.
When it comes to direct marketing or MLMs, what's your opinion there?
Yeah, so I can think of a few right now. My opinion on that and any business, for that matter, especially when we're talking about entrepreneurialism or big names like that, you can tell when a company or a person cares for people. There's a thing I call conscience and intuition that people kind of ignore because of that fear and other things that are going on. It's easy to get sucked in, and more importantly, it's easy to be narrow-minded and have blinders on to these signs that are very apparent and right in your face. And I just put it this way. You can tell if you pay close attention when you're talking to somebody and you feel in their energy, you can clearly tell if they care about you and your best interest, or if they're simply after your money or an outcome, or they just want something in general. And the customer can feel that too when they're working with you.
If you're thinking that way, if your mind is pulled, like a lot of MLM places get you to come to a meeting and they show you all these figures or how much money you could make, and your mind is focused on that and not focused on anything else.
Yeah.
And that's, in my opinion, part of a problem.
Yeah.
I think as a country, we're sold a bill of goods. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's that way. Look, watch TV. Every other commercial is about some prescription medicine.
Right.
Okay? And that prescription medicine has 412, it fixes one thing and has 412 side effects.
Right.
That'll kill you. Okay? Now, I'm a believer that our bodies are meant to heal themselves.
Yeah.
But sometimes we need a kickstart. And I get that. But we're sold a bill of goods that, hey, we're sneezing. Oh, we have allergies. We need to take this medicine, or we should take this. That's not the answer. And I'm not a vegan, okay? And I'm not a health nut, but it's played a negative factor in my life. I had heart attack, triple bypass. I had 2 strokes. So maybe I do need to take better care of my body, but I do also need to think about how I'm going to do that. And what I'm getting from you is you're going to open up the door for people to close the gate on the snake oil salespeople that try to convince you without you really doing your own research.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you're at. I mean, it's not like, hey, this one is bad or that one's bad. It's, hey, this is the goods and bads of everything.
Yeah.
I would never be a vegan. How you do it is beyond me. Were you a meat eater prior?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 32 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it hard to change?
No. So if you want to hear that quick Reader's Digest version, what happened was I didn't watch a documentary. My bandmates at the time, my drummer and bassist were vegan, and I seen them. They never pushed it on me. They never even asked me to go vegan. One day, just thought I'd try it. Okay, I want to try that. So I'm the type of person that if you put something in my face and say, hey, there's a potential chance that this is good for you, even a 0.1% chance, okay, I'll try it. I never disregard anything. So I thought I'd try it for 2 weeks. Went on plant-based diet for 2 weeks, and then deliberately had a really heavy meat-based meal, which was 2 pork chops on a bed of rice with an egg cracked on it, right? A lot of cholesterol, a lot of animal product. And the way it hit my body and the feeling, going back to the conscience, I didn't like it. It made me feel weighed down. Like the prior 2 weeks of eating that way, I felt great. And so that feeling of it feeling wrong, I immediately made that decision. And a lot of people can't do this. It's just how I am. I flip the switch on a lot of things. I made the commitment, this is the way I'm going to eat the rest of my entire life, and I have.
All right, so...
And then I got educated on it afterwards.
Okay, so that flipping the switch and then going back and feeling pretty crappy. So after the stroke and stuff, I flipped the switch and gave up fast foods.
Good for you.
So one day I was driving and I was in the mood. I was starving, and I stopped at McDonald's,
Hmm.
and I had a hamburger. Well, I had a Big Mac. I don't want to lie.
I used to love those when I was a kid.
And it just didn't sit well with me.
That's the feeling I'm talking about. Yeah.
But I still would eat a regular hamburger. I still, I still eat meat. Now, since my strokes and heart attack, I've cut down. I have red meat maybe once a week. I eat a lot of chicken. I'm not a big fish eater, but I do eat some fish now. And I'm starting to eat some vegetables. I was never a vegetable eater. But that leads me back to where we started this conversation, in that if you watch TV, you're going to be sold a bill of goods by companies that just want to make money. Hey, McDonald's hamburger, 100% beef or whatever, okay? That's what you're getting, and then we never look any further than what we're told.
Yeah, it's all money driven, and then I can even loop that back around to the entrepreneurial thing we were talking about with MLM. So anything that drives the money and just rakes in dough, there's a push and an agenda on that. That's why McDonald's will spend millions, multi-millions on advertising and put it in your face as much. You might notice there's not a lot of plant-based ads, right?
No.
And so in order to battle that, the plant-based industry, which I'm going to change, maybe we got to dump multi-millions into it to get it in front of people's face and get on a Super Bowl ad. I don't know. I think that's the way, we got to play that game is what I'm saying. But to tie that back into the entrepreneurialism and the MLM, the reason it's easy to be blinded is because of the money. People, when you start to care about money more than anything else, and you operate a business also, you're not going to care about your customers. It's just a fact. You're after the money, and they can feel that. And if you operate your life that way and you do everything, if you value money over everything, or that being the cure-all that's going to solve all your problems, or give you a false sense of freedom, you're going down the wrong path, and you're going to be you're going to buy into a lot of the things that you're talking about very easily.
Going back to that, this is how we learn something, because we hear it and we use it even though it's not exactly right. So the term is, money is the root of all evil. Mm-hmm. But that is not the phrase.
Yeah.
The phrase is, the love of money is the root of all evil.
Very well said.
Okay?
The glorifying of it, absolutely.
Okay. So, but we're told that, and like everything we do in this world, is we shorten it because we don't use too much ink. But it's, and we were talking before we got on the air, I'm not big on talking negative about any specific person. And being an entrepreneur, as you are, it's very hard because you have these big box companies that can throw millions and millions and millions into stuff, and all we can throw in is our heart and our consideration. And it's sad that people don't understand that. People will go online and buy health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance. When something goes wrong, you go back online, you can't find that person.
Yeah.
Okay?
Good point.
So finding that face-to-face, where you said intuitively you get a good feeling, a good energy from that person, is so important to me as it is to you. And I'm going to guess that your show, your YouTube, is going to be about some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
About knowing who you're dealing with, knowing, correct me if I'm wrong, knowing their motives.
Yeah.
I think is really, really important.
And to that point, paying attention to your conscience. You made the point that these companies are throwing massive amounts of money at it, and all we can do is throw our heart at it. For now, yes. My time and my frequency and the people that actually gather with me is going to be our strength. And my heart is bigger than the money. And it's only going to get bigger as people kind of awaken themselves and pay attention to their conscience as well. So I am a firm believer that we're going to outframe this evil, if you will, in the world that needs to be outframed and diminished.
It's sometimes you have to step backwards to move forwards. And, you have companies like Amazon and Mobile and FP&L. And it's hard for the little guy to move ahead. And every time we try, we get smacked in the face by some law or some rule that we can't send enough money to Washington or to our capital to have the rule looked at deeper or further into.
Yeah.
So we're stuck with that rule. You know, when I opened here and I went to get my business license, I did everything I needed to do, and when I finally went to finalize it, they said you have to have a waste company, waste management, whatever, come in and do an inspection. I'm a paper pushing company. I don't do any. There's no chemicals here, no nothing. But it was just really, it's just about the money.
Yeah.
It's like you said, if you follow the money, you'll see the problems.
Oh, you're gonna go down a dark path, and I gotta tell you something. You know, I've taken the path a lot of people avoid. I'm very well aware that the things I'm talking about, people are having a hard time fighting with because they've been programmed for so long since birth to think that this is the way you live, this is the way you treat people, this is the way you think. And there's people out there like Martin Luther King, Susan B. Anthony, right? These are individuals that have taken a huge stance against stuff that has clearly been the wrong thing to do. And a particular quote that I always resonate with is Martin Luther King's. It says, there comes a time when a guy needs to stand up and make a change because his conscience tells him it's the right thing to do. Not because it's political, not because of this reason or that reason, because it's the right thing to do. And so I'm very well aware that I'm in a David and Goliath position, if you will. And I'll be the voice for people. I am not afraid. I think everybody knows that. If you follow my Instagram channel, you can clearly see I'm not afraid. And there's a reason for that. It's because I'm following my conscience. This is the right thing to do, and I want to help people. It has nothing to do with me.
Well, what is your Instagram channel?
Benjamin John MIC. Yep.
Okay, we're getting tough about time. So I'm going to have Ben on probably in a week or two, and we're going to, I guess, showcase his new YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay, and it will give you the YouTube address and where to go to watch. And it's not just watch, it's watch and learn. And I kind of got to know Ben, okay, and he's been in and we've spoken a number of times, and you got to give him credit because you raised your daughter, right?
Yeah.
And she's with you all the time,
Oh, yeah.
and she's super well behaved, except for not giving you your suit jacket.
Well, she was cold. I gave it to her.
But that's okay, because it just goes to show me where your head is at and the importance of what's important. And there's nothing more important than your child.
Absolutely.
Okay? And that girl sitting there, that's our future.
Yes.
Okay? And thank God you are bringing her up to the best of your ability with a ton of hindrances, because you got to follow the rules of a country that's not, we're far from perfect.
Absolutely.
You know, and people say, well, we live in the best country in the world. A lot of people will disagree with that. I mean, I love America, don't get me wrong. But who knows? I didn't live in other countries. I can't give you that answer.
Good point.
But I do run into people like you who do it right, and that's most important to me. Ben, I want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that.
I'm sure you'll be back. Everybody, check them out, and we'll be right back.